Okay,
So
so
questions that I got today.
One is if we could use the plateboard signs that go in the H, with the H brackets into the ground versus having Public Works print metal signs. I have a vendor that we can get for you that we've used for the 5K and for Community Day. You know,
You mean the side?
like the voter signs that have,
Corrugated plastic.
she's thinking
Yeah.
to just cone off spaces, not actual
we're still
signs.
gonna have the cones.
Yeah, I like the
Absolutely.
cones and numbers. I've already got that secured from, according to Val. Numbers.
Yes, the numbers and the
Talking about
cones.
Sign out on the road.
Yeah, that's the one that I'm asking if you get a corrugated cardboard versus, that way we can just print it and if we can reuse it without a date, et cetera.
That's perfect.
Okay, great.
I don't have any vendors. I don't have anything.
Okay.
So,
And then the police department asked me why you needed a cop, because we're short-staffed that day and we'll have to call some, we can call someone in if we need to.
No, we don't, this is what Val said, to talk to Officer Ryan, just to let him know.
Yes,
We don't need a cop.
Okay.
To let him know what
We're
is
having
going
an
on.
event.
yes, we've arranged for the cops
Yes.
to park with their personal vehicles and then extra vehicles up here at the top, so they don't interfere with the 68 spaces that I counted down below.
Yes.
So-
He just wanted me to let him know, because
Yes,
Yes,
we confirmed that again with him today.
and if he feels he needs someone for traffic, that's fine, but my husband will be here for traffic. And Sherry Jo Matt, who's a volunteer, she's gonna, I
Okay.
think she's bringing her hubby and.
right,
At
we
this
don't
point,
need a police
yeah.
officer, it's just letting
If
the.
we get over 30 people, if we get over 30 vendors, we can absolutely revisit it. But now with the 9 or so, or 15, if it gets to 15 or even 20, I think we're okay without a, there'll be 3 on duty. So if they need to be called back, they can be.
I'm just hoping we have more word. I mean, we've only had a week and a half to do
Yes.
this, and it's a shame. I think if we had a 30-day window, we'd have a lot more people.
Yes, I was surprised how many came in today.
I actually am excited over the feedback we've gotten
Mhm.
and how many people have signed up. So I think for a first year event, we're
Absolutely.
actually doing great.
Yeah.
Yes,
And so I'm anxious to see this. I think it's great. And
there's 2 opportunities for people to park. If we're using the back lot here for police cars, and then we're using the front lot here for the treasures in the trunk, there's a side lot where Public Works, behind the Public Works building, and then they can also park up at the museum if there's added spaces with soccer
Right.
and everything and walk down. So there'll be different options.
If we get 15 to 20 cars, that'll all go along the whole front and down at the next building, I think, right?
We'll put them out front here in front of the police department. Yes,
Wait,
this is not where y'all park. I counted 68 spaces on this side.
oh, you're back here.
Yes, ma'am.
I
yeah,
thought
the
that's
front of
back.
the building that we walk in is here, but everything's going to be in the back behind us, where normally you see the police cars.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay,
They're
so
having
we'll
the
be back in
police
back.
officers move their
Correct.
vehicles
Okay.
up to the
Okay.
front here.
So we'll be
Yes.
by Devlin Park.
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Will the restrooms be open?
The Devon Park ones will, yes,
Okay.
and if you, okay,
So we have restrooms, so we don't need to open the building at all.
So that's what I had told, I don't remember, somebody asked about restrooms. I don't know. Anyways, but I said, I assumed that the Devlin Park restrooms would be open
Yes.
and people could use those.
yes, correct.
Good.
So,
Well, we're looking forward to it.
And also Delina's, I think, Cafe, is that what they called it?
Yes, Delina's.
Delina's. Okay, because Kelly, I spoke with Kelly, she said she only has 2 of her daughters for the Girl Scout troop, because it's homecoming, and it's gonna, I think we'll just try to use the coffee truck. Might be easier.
I think that'll be great.
Sounds like a great idea.
I sent, after this evening, I sent her something this evening, she may not answer, I sent it on her Facebook
I'll
page.
send it as a reply to her since she contacted me directly.
Yeah,
I'll
'cause-
also send her.
I did not have her email to reply to it when you
I
said.
don't have her email either.
Oh.
She does business through her Facebook page.
Okay.
Message.
And that's how she tried to
That's
reach
how
her.
I reached
Yeah,
her.
but
I
Facebook's
will
down
send
today.
her
Yeah, but please, yeah, let's get her. Anywhere
So-
between 8 and 11, and then that would be good.
8 and
Wonderful.
11? Okay.
Yeah, because people are supposed to come to set up at 8, shoppers at 9, and then we know they're gonna ignore that. So I'll be here at like 7:30 to 7:45. But yeah,
Okay.
Great.
okay.
Sounds fantastic. Okay, the Fall Festival, Kelly.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I'm at a practice because my husband's tied up tonight. So basically we decided to nix the fall festival for this year. There just wasn't enough time to plan something decent, and it's just a really busy time of the year. To get enough people to help was going to be hard. When I was asking people I know who usually like to do those things, everybody already had stuff going on. So I think we decided just not to pursue that for this year and move on to doing something in the winter instead. So we have more time to plan for that.
Good idea.
Okay, thank you. I will be canceling cupcakes, but thank you to Beatty. Next, turkey bingo. And
Yeah, Concetta's not here, so I'll do it. I've already started the flyer. We're looking at November 18th. I think again, it's from 7 to 8 p.m. for turkey bingo. So
it's always a highlight, so we're all looking forward to that, and thank you.
And it will be virtual, ladies.
as far as I know.
Yes.
I wanted to-
Yeah.
I don't think we're ready for.
Thank you. Yeah, we don't have the
We're going-
space at this time.
for
I'm
100
not sure
people.
where it would be.
And I think people actually really like the virtual. They can be at home and not have to worry about masks, driving, anything else. So great activity. That's been one of our best ones. Okay, Winterfest.
Maybe Tricia or Sandra, you could just a brief summary,
The
please.
date is December 18th or 21st.
December 18th.
December 18th. And we're in the process of pulling together, Sandy, stop me if I'm wrong, food trucks, and we're potentially going to have ice sculptures and tree lightings off of the light poles on Devlin Field. And there'll be
Fireworks display.
fireworks. I think there's a movie following in the evening.
Perhaps. Yes, it's still really just a concept, and we've got several ideas. What we're really looking for is for volunteers and some ideas to make it really pop and be a success. We wanted to spread out some of the festivities and events throughout the entire year of the town. And we think that this would be a really good opportunity for a winter celebration.
We're hoping for snow.
Ice
Believe it or not, we're
sculptures
hoping for
and a
snow.
movie probably don't go hand in hand, because if it's warm enough for people to be watching a movie, there won't be ice sculptures.
But I do know that there's a gentleman that I was speaking to that does the chainsaw ice sculptures, and he makes different things. It's a demonstration, but it's also, he has some things where he can create like cornhole out of ice, and the kids can play these games.
Oh,
where
neat.
they set up bales of hay and have, I mean, if everyone bundles up enough and we have enough lighting, the market square does things in the wintertime. People go ice skating. You can do festivities outside. in the winter.
I was thinking of
A
the
bonfire as
ice
well.
sculptures like they do in New York, where they have that week where all of the ice
Yeah.
sculptures are out and people get to see them all, but they're
They're
there
gorgeous.
for a whole
Yes.
week.
Oh.
I
Well,
didn't realize you were
these
talking
last
about
as
person
long as
coming
you
in
don't
and
put them.
Yeah,
Yeah, if it's cold
But
enough, they can go in the field and.
hoping for snow, believe it or not.
February is usually a better month than December. We've been having some.
A
hot
lot of snow,
Decembers,
just a little bit
but,
of snow.
But we'll,
So yes,
we'll hope the 18th is 30 degrees.
A little chilly. So I think we're looking at some food trucks, potentially like hot chocolate and things like that, so that it'll be kind of a stop in, see what's going on, have a little bit of fun.
Some music.
Everybody can watch and note
Should
that
we-
date, the 18th on their calendar, and
It is pretty
anybody who would
expensive.
like to volunteer,
I was
then
gonna say, do
they
we need a
could
point
please.
person from the AAC to be working with you
Yes.
on this?
Yes, that's what we're looking for.
Do you have a time frame?
The time of the event, we are waiting until some of the vendors, but there will be fireworks. So it'll go through, I mean, realistically in December, it gets dark fairly early,
Yeah.
but it won't.
Probably 6:30 or 7.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It won't go too late.
It won't go
It'll
too late.
Most likely start, we were even thinking, possibly like a 3 to, fireworks, these start at 6:30 or 7.
Okay, the 18th is Saturday.
Yeah. So an earlier.
So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yes.
The typical.
Like a 3 to 7 would
Yeah,
work
something
on a
like
Saturday.
3 to 7, 3 to 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not a long event, just enough to have some community spirit, some gathering, an opportunity to just get outside and enjoy the weather.
Would anybody like to be the point person?
Not yet.
We'll let people.
I'll assist.
I agree. We
Yeah.
aren't even sure if we're traveling. So, okay, we will try to locate someone.
Yeah, I can help.
Um, discussion of 2021 project activity ideas. Anybody have any discussion there?
One real fast wrap up, Deb, if you don't mind. Just that park project that Kelly and you were speaking of last time. We did present to council that without having very defined roles, responsibility, ownership issues raised, that we felt that we're hesitant to move forward on it until those questions are answered. We have been asked to continue considering it, continue to see if there is interest from any volunteers in the town who would like to do the footwork to be able to answer those questions. So that's from the town council has asked us to not close the door to it completely.
It was really, honestly, a matter of the legality of even having workers and so forth. So it certainly, if you want to give me the contact information, I can ask the person the questions, but I don't know those answers that we
We're
brought
also
up.
asking the EAC for folks
Okay.
who would have a serious interest in doing the work to get the questions answered. at this
Okay.
point.
I sort of think he made it clear when we were there that he was retaining the land, so I don't know that it's going to or not, but maybe he'll change his mind. Okay, the fitness court.
Deb had something.
Yeah.
Oh, is that
could I-
going under project ideas?
I don't,
It was
I mean,
internship.
it could, yeah.
We'll have it go there.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, it'll be brief. I have been emailing back and forth with the Penn State people. It looks like they have an option of a 50-hour internship. And Trish and I were discussing maybe we should do an audit first before we bring in a full-blown intern person. So they have a list of places where people can apply to be interns. So I can look at that, and run it by everybody to see if we want to pursue that. It's a different program. They can cut their 300 hours into segments of 50. So that's a possibility. If we wanted someone to come in and just do kind of a recreation and parks audit, what do we have? What are our strengths? What are our needs? Which I think that would be a little bit easier to manage. And that can be paid or unpaid. Somebody would have to supervise, but I think it would be a much easier situation than having an intern for 300 hours.
And I think the unpaid was the key part. People indicated they didn't want to
Yeah.
bring on a paid position, so we would need it to be that unpaid 50-hour intern.
Well, that's how it, it's up to the people to choose. They have a whole list. I mean, they can go to Clemson and do parks and recreations things. There's a really nice list on their website. I can share that with you, but it would just be a matter of us posting it and then, having people review it. But it might be a nice thing. You never know. You run into somebody that's local and just wants to do something like this in the summer, in the spring or summer. A short segment. So I can go run it by maybe Trish and then bring it up at the next meeting. For this summer, I think we have to apply by January. For the spring, we would have to apply by, have it posted by October. And really, it's just a posting at this point. No commitment, unless somebody would want to be
I
in.
don't know that we're ready for it to be posted. We're already in October, so we're probably going to have to look at
The summer one.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
So, okay, well,
Uh,
thank you.
I'll go
Uh,
over that with Trish then, and then
Okay.
maybe write something up, a draft for the
Yeah,
next
this
meeting.
is definitely something that, once we, as the AAC work through it, would need to go before council as well. But I think, looking just briefly at other communities and the number of residents and where their budgets are, I do think we need to take a close look at McCandless and how we can better serve our residents in recreation and culture.
Mhm. And I think this would be a great opportunity, to bring an outside person in that has some experience in this area. We just have to hope that somebody would pick up on it and help us out. But I'll pursue that with them a little bit. We'll just keep the wheels turning.
I know Windwood Park uses several interns during the summer from various schools. And it's a great opportunity actually for the intern also because they get credits. So it's a nice opportunity both ways where McCandless may be able to get some help from someone. And usually it is a person who has some sort of ties to the area. So that would be nice. Maybe you could share the site where they post things with the committee and write up
Sure.
something, and then the committee can look at it. And then if it's something that the committee thinks looks great, we could present that. And Trish, if we decide it's something we want to do, she would present it to town council, and town council would decide whether it's going to take place or not. So if you just wanted to send all the information and a write up to the Sandra could certainly
Committee.
send it out to the committee.
Okay, I'll
Thank
send
you.
it to Sandra. You're welcome. Thank you for considering this.
Yes, I send everything through her and she'll she'll send it out to the whole committee and keep track, and thank you.
Sounds good. And a future activity too, I was thinking maybe something on the volleyball court. Maybe we could have like a little volleyball team competition, or have neighborhoods sign up to play volleyball, like Tuesday nights, Tuesday, Wednesday night, something like that. Because I don't even think people know the courts down there. We could do that in the summer. That would be something to look forward to. I would just add for 21, 22.
We've actually had quite a few people on the courts in the last few weeks.
Good.
On the volleyball?
Yes.
Yeah,
Great.
Between the volleyball and the basketball courts, there's quite a bit of activity in the afternoon.
And when is the pickleball line painting gonna
That's
be?
plans, I believe they're trying to get that in before the end of the year,
Okay,
but Jeff Shaineman's working on that through Public Works.
because I think just tagging on to Deb's great idea, I love the idea because so many, some of us who aren't as strong on beach volleyball, and you certainly won't see me in a bikini either. But I
No
can see
uniforms,
some of-
yeah.
So I can see some of my neighbors getting together and being very competitive in pickleball. That to do something where we say, hey, this neighborhood, the Lake Marshall versus the Graybrook, get a team together. That might be kind of fun to have it as something for, not necessarily a senior citizen, not necessarily a children's, but like for adults, because we don't have a lot of activities and a lot of interest from folks who are in that age group. And I
We're
think,
trying to also get the junior council person involved in the activities committee. So
that would be
I
perfect.
can get his dad on a pickleball team in a minute.
We need to get him to organize the tournament.
That would be great.
Yeah, and volleyball is, everybody probably realizes how phenomenal North Allegheny East volleyball teams are. So there's a lot of parents who many years ago were players and so forth. I know typically they play in tournaments over at Blueberry Hill. It'd be great to draw some things over to McCandless, but I think that there actually would be interest. I met my husband playing volleyball in many
how
years ago. So
there you go.
great sport.
Okay,
So,
so keep
yeah,
that in the back of
if-
your mind.
Yeah,
I
I think
think-
that's a great idea.
I think we need to look at a lot of these things, this year, the activities committee was really getting started with several projects. COVID has certainly hurt a lot of different things, but I could see the pickleball and volleyball both being great activities in our future, and really the fall is a good time for things, fall and spring.
It really is.
Okay, fitness court. Do we have anything new there?
Nothing new, no events planned at this time.
Okay, we don't have anything new for any of the upcoming things. We're down probably to council.
Real quick with volunteer, I know Dawn is not with us this evening. But one thing, Sandra, you may be able to help me, or Tricia. Do we have a standard letter for, especially the young people who need to keep track of their hours, for folks that work with us on things like the 5K and the National Night Out, or can we
don't have one yet,
create
but
something like that?
We could develop a template for that. Is that, you were saying that a lot of us high school students need to accumulate a certain number of hours.
Exactly.
Events like ours would absolutely.
It should have no problem qualifying as ours, so.
Right, North Allegheny typically it is just, it's very, very short, only about 4 sentences, 3 to 4 sentences. It's just a thank you so
Right.
much for volunteering to help us at
This
our
event
fill in
and
the
for this many
blank.
hours.
We appreciated the 6 hours you dedicated to us, and we wish you well in your other future. It's really just 3 simple sentences, and we
That we
need
can
to
feed in an email and a name.
thank people, and when you give them that and thank them, they return. I know I've used this in quite a few different things, because the kids, it's also great when they're applying to colleges. They want to be able to have something in writing to show that they volunteered in their community. It looks great on their college application.
Is it best for it to be a letter, or can we just, I mean, I know the police.
A
department
letter.
sent- Okay, so versus a thank you note.
I'd say letter
They
that
need
can
a
go into
letter
file
because they'll
with a letter.
put it in with their portfolio for things.
Are these letters generated for students who's come to you and seek this kind of, or do you just?
No, I seek, so for instance, something I do in the summer is I manage a lot of lifeguards. Well, different activities need to have lifeguards. So one of the ways I can solicit a lifeguard to come and help at various things is by giving them this volunteer letter. So just anytime we have anybody help us with something, our thank you note serves as a volunteer letter. And again, very short, just put it on the township letterhead, 3 sentences thanking them. It would take you almost no time to print it out. And that is the key to getting volunteers. And of course, the kids do deserve something tiny like a letter after volunteering hours.
And I'm also hoping that we can just do like a mail merge or some, I'm sure some function where you don't have to type out each one,
Oh, no,
there's
it's sort of
mess, so
a
we
form
can-
letter that
Right,
you just,
exactly.
yeah.
And
yeah.
because I don't want to add more burden to the administrative staff.
Right.
But at the same
No,
time, we want to make sure.
It's a form letter. You basically just put in a person's name, and it should be really very, very easy.
Right.
And then whomever is in charge, it's not like they'd even have to send it in the mail. Whomever's in charge can decide how they want to distribute it to the student. But I know I get them to the people that volunteer, but
That's what I was
to
gonna
get
ask.
the letterhead, I have to get it from the
Yes,
district.
yeah, and I sent, Sandra may not have gotten it. I sent over a Google file this afternoon with all the students' names and emails. Okay, okay, yeah, it was late.
Sandy, did Zoom going? Oh, no, you just minimized it. Okay.
I know I thanked the singers, but that's something we could
Yes,
even do
yeah.
for them
I'll
also.
need, yeah, I need Hannah's email and Kat's emails to make sure they're on that list as well.
Yes. Yeah, and that'll be a good first draft.
Mhm,
with it.
exactly, because it's about 20 names and just boom. Great, thank you.
Okay. Okay, excellent. Any other items of note from council?
Just a couple of dates to keep in mind. Coming up on October 16th, the Environmental Advisory Committee is hosting our cleanup, which is always a great event for our town, and anybody who might be listening, I do encourage you. It was great. I know last year I got at least about 14,000 steps in, so it was a good. I did some
Good.
walking. But it really makes a difference and a big impact in our town. It's amazing how much trash does get collected. I really feel like we're a very tidy community, but at the same time, whenever we start actually going after it, the amount of bags is amazing. So a couple other things, Heritage Center, they have decided to do their Notorious North Hills program in the spring because of, again, pandemic questions and COVID restrictions. That it's a lot of work to put on that program, and they didn't want to do that till they're ready and know they could have it. So again, the tech is still working on a couple of things. We haven't heard as much as I'd hoped by now about Channel 98. But I know they are working to advise the town on website and better communication strategies to get word out about what's going on in our community. And that's kind of all impacts us here with what we do as well.
Okay, and Terry, the McCandless welcome packet.
You know what, we still have, I guess Dawn had said that her daughter was going to do that and haven't gotten back from her yet. She said probably about in the next couple of weeks they'll have it together. And the only thing I can think of is to resend the instructions, just make sure everything's covered.
Great,
So-
great. Public comment.
And I do have, the cafe, she confirmed she'll be here. She just sent me a text.
Oh,
She'll be here on
wonderful.
Saturday.
Good.
So she'll be here at 8 o'clock in the morning, I think 8.
8 to
7 or
11 is
7:30.
perfect,
Yeah, all right.
because the event.
Yeah, I'll make sure I
Just
get
gonna
down
set
here at least buy coffee and support her too.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you.
She'll be here at 7:30, she said.
Perfect.
Even better.
Good.
Yeah, so I'll put that on my note.
So.
Okay.